And here she is, the 58 Buick. Take this face of fashion Dynastar grille, for example. That's a real eye catcher, isn't it? You know, speaking of fashion, my wife Jane, who happens to be rather intimately connected with the business, tells me that she has a friend who has sold her husband on buying a Buick simply because she likes the Dynastar grille. I don't know, it's rather wonderful. You never can tell what causes someone to buy. However, never forget that attention to detail brings in the sale. Now, personally, the thing that impresses me about the grille is the fact that it's so rugged, it's really built. I wonder how many people know that the Dynastar grille is die-cast. Now, compare that to the other cars today that are using cheap, flimsy stampings. There is no comparison. Another important point about the grille, it's functional as well as aesthetically good. Look at all that airspace. More airspace, more air gets in. More air gets in, cooler running engine. Nice point. Ah, it's a great car. It's got the looks that people want today, this 58 Buick. And those looks are not just skin deep. It's built-in quality. This is a car that gives you the impression that somewhere somebody cares. Somebody's trying to give the Buick buyer a whole lot more for his money. You know how you can tell that? Through the attention to details in the entire car. The way the chrome fits around those headlamps, down the side of the car, the way the sheet metal fits together, the way the door fits. And what's more, you can hear Buick quality as well as see it. Ah. Love that sound. To me, it's always said Buick. Mean that to you? I hope it does. You know, you've opened and closed the doors in the competitive cars, haven't you? You bet you have. You don't get that feel of quality. You don't get that kind of a sound. You get tinny. Not this. It's terrific. And it's mighty important, too, because it stands for something. It stands for the superiority of the Buick body, the high standard of craftsmanship throughout the entire car. Right? I'll give you another example. The window glass. Now, you know that the law requires safety plate glass in the windshield only. And that's just about the only place other cars put it. Not so with Buick. Buick gives you safety plate glass all around. Windshield, side windows, rear windows, everywhere. To me, this is a most important feature. It means less distortion, less fatigue, less eye strain for me and the entire family when they're out riding with me. Nice point. I'll tell you one place you never want distortion, and that is in the windshield, right? Well, I don't know how they did it, but Buick has somehow engineered out that distortion. There's nary a wave nor a wiggle. And those of you who have sat behind the windshields in the competitive cars, what do I have to say? Here's something I wish you'd point out to your prospects. The Buick windshield wipers. This little track right here, that is the key to the whole operation. That track causes that windshield wiper to come all the way around the corner and wipe it clean. And how important that can be. If you've ever driven a competitive car in the rain, you know how important a Buick windshield wiper can be. All right, there are lots more mighty important features in the rear, so if you will come with me, we'll point them out. Now, we particularly like this rear end treatment. It's mighty good looking, isn't it? And that's something that a lot of the competitive car owners will be taking a good long look at as the 58 Buicks cruise on by. Another thing we're proud of is the tail light arrangement. After all, they are big enough to be seen, but they don't wander all over. What's more, they are at the side, where they belong. Here's another sales feature that you'll be mighty happy about, the center-positioned gas filler. You know, some of these other cars are actually making gas station attendants play a guessing game just trying to find the filler. Another point I'd like to make just proves to you that we at Buick are really thinking of details. The exhaust ports are underneath the car. Now, I'm sure you agree with me. Nothing gripes me as much as having a rear bumper all fouled up with exhaust fumes. That can't happen on the 58 Buick. Show you this trunk. See how easily that opens? Counterbalanced. Incidentally, one of the first things that my wife mentioned when we got our 58. How about the size of that trunk? There's plenty of room in there. There's room in there for all the luggage in my family, I know, and then some. Here's another point. We've designed this trunk with the lip right down to the rear bumper. Now, that means you don't have to lift your luggage up in the air to get it inside. And believe me, that can be important. Unless, of course, you feel you need the exercise. Take a look at the spare tire. Out of the way, convenient, easy to get at without disturbing the luggage. Nice points, every one of them. Now, here are some of the other things I'd like to point out. They are reasons why I have made mine Buick. Most people measure a car from the driver's seat. I know I do. And from ceiling to floor, Buick is tops. Take the floor carpet, for example. I like the rich, luxurious feel of a carpet in my home and in my car. So will your prospects. And take a look at the hardware. This vent pane, crank operated, easily operated. What a difference from those tiny, hard to open knuckle busters. Believe you me, the door and window handles feel and act like quality. And of course, these Buick interiors are the greatest. What a contrast to run your hands over this fabric after trying competition. These soft, deep cushioned seats are another reason your prospect will go for this 58 Buick in a big way. I use my car to take my family on vacations. Now, I know that I can drive all day long in a Buick without getting tired, but I'm afraid we can't say the same thing for those hard, thin, low-down seats that some of the other cars offer. I don't know why it is, but the competition seems to have an idea that 4 is a crowd. Well, that's not so with the Buick. There's plenty of room for 3 people, front and back. Crowding? Not for me. I want room for the whole family. And what's more, so does your prospect. You know something else? When he wants to wear a hat, he wants to wear it on his head. Now then, here's something else that's important to the driver. The instrument panel. Look how simple and clear it is. Any prospect will really like things like the red liner speedometer, the safety buzzer, save him traffic tickets, won't it? And the trip mileage recorder. And then there's this dynaflow control. You agree with me, I'm sure. I like having it right at my fingertips. These hunt and peck push-button systems, they just confuse people. There are other features on the instrument panel that I think are worthwhile. The glove compartment where the driver can reach it, and it's big enough. And this open door with places to hold cups at drive-ins. It's a good idea, isn't it? Another Buick Plus, perimeter heating. Cuts off the cold drafts around the edges of the car, and with the new radiant heater under the seat, in a Buick, everyone's warm. And Buick has a simple one-knob control. You can mix heat with defrost to warm the windshield and you on cold mornings. Add all these interior details together, and you've got a great sales story. Love that sound. Now, there are some details up front that impress me. I'd like to show you how easily this hood latch operates. Actually, there are 2 hood latches for safety, but you just watch this. See that? Nothing to it. Now then, if you happen to come across a technically minded prospect, he'll be interested in this complete radiator fan shroud. This increases the efficiency of the fan. That means the cooling is more effective. And of course, you'll take a look at the B12,000 engine. One look at that and you just can't wait to get out on the road and try the Buick for power. Is that right? All right, that's that part of the story. Now then, these are all details that we've been talking about. Details which individually might well catch the fancy of any buying prospect, which grouped together actually do this in the most remarkable way. They tell the Buick overall superiority story. And that's the first half of the story. The second half of the story cannot be told in the showroom. You have to get out on the road to tell that story. And that's where the 58 Buick really shines. Now then, you saw how she stacked up against competition, right? After all, you drove the other cars, you know. And you saw how she compared on the test track at the proving ground. What are you going to do with that information? You know and I know that Buick's really got it for 58. Let your prospect know it. Let him feel Buick power and smooth dynaflow as they combine to give him truly great performance at all times, especially when it counts. Let him experience Buick passing power in action. Let him feel Miracle Ride while you tell him about the firmness of torque tube drive, the independent springing action of coil springs. Let him know what it means to have Buick braking power. Tell him about that big 12-inch diameter brake drum on the Special. And let him feel the luxury of riding in the quietness of a Buick. Quietness of a truly fine car. Now, once you've gotten these points across to your prospect, there's one thing more to do. Ask for the order. I feel sure you'll get it.